All right, guys, I'm back. It's June 20th, and I got some players that I absolutely love for us to incorporate in some player props. But before we do, you know what we got to do? We got to recap yesterday. All right, I got some good news, and I got some bad news. The bad news first. Marte, what the heck you doing, man? You can't get it done for us. Ohtani gets it done. Doubles, singles is still in the game as a taping of this video. Who knows if he's going to do even more. But he did what we needed him to do, the baseline prediction. But then again, it didn't matter because if you parlay them together for nothing. But the good news is a lot of you guys said in the comments that, oh, my gosh, Ohtani's like and Marte both are priced insane taking a hit today. You can't even parlay them together and get reasonable odds. So if that was the case and you didn't play either one of these, then there you go. You kind of won by not losing, I guess. All right, let's move on. All right, quick recap for all the new subscribers and everybody, just to recap what we've done. We had no Tier 2 plays yesterday, but we still are hitting those at a 74% hit rate. We hit 144 of them, missed on 51 for a 74% hit rate, players to record a hit. All right, now the plays that I have for today, which we're going to get to right in a second, fall under the Tier 1 grade that are hitting an 82% hit rate. We've correctly hit 88 of them, players record a hit, and missed on just 19 of them, like I said, for an 82% hit rate. Let's get right to the plays that I love for today that fall under this tier right here. All right, the first matchup, Steven Quan versus Luis Castillo. When you look at Castillo's pitch usage percentage, he loves that four-seam fastball to the tune of 47% of the time he throws it on average this season. He's got a .257 batting average, so not absolutely horrible, but not great either. Okay, I mean, that's what? It's an average. So if someone's going to swing at the four-seam fastball, he's going to give up a hit 1 out of every 4 times. I mean, we just need a hit. And Steven Quan usually gets up about 4 times, okay? And what I love about this matchup, at least for this pitch right here, Quan is hitting the four-seam fastball at a .447 rate all season long. He loves it, baby. So absolutely love that pitch that he might see about 50% of the time. Okay, we'll see. Moving on to the second pitch, the changeup. Castillo throws 26% of the time. Oh, wow, a mirror image of a .257 batting average given up, okay? So, not the worst, but definitely falls within the Tier 1 play. This is a Tier 1 play. We're hitting at 82% on the season. Quan is hitting the changeup at a .235 batting average. So, I love some other things about this. I wish that was a little higher, but it's not a disqualifier, okay? The third pitch, slider, 17% of the time, a .226 batting average given up, Castillo. Now that one, he's commanding it pretty well. But, I don't know how well he's going to be able to do that because Quan loves the slider at a .444 average, baby. He crushes it all season long. And then the sinker, 10% of the time. How many times is he going to see it? I hope he sees it a lot more than 10% because Castillo's not commanding that well. A .316 batting average given up on that sinker. Quan, a .267. So now is this what I spoke about already? The pitch usage and Quan's ability to hit him. Is it lights out? Is it knock your socks off? We've never seen anything better than this ever before. No. Okay. But it still falls within the grading of a Tier 1. We've bet players like this in, all season long. Like I said, they're all in there in that 82% hit rate. They're very successful. Okay. Now it gets a little bit better for me because, I was like, should I pass on this one or whatever? But okay. Ballpark Pal has a list as an extreme advantage for Steven Quan. He represents the worst 2 percentile of possible matchups for Castillo. So Ballpark Pal, they go through the pitch, all the stuff like this, the weather, the stadium, and how they think he will perform against Castillo today. With all those factors and more factors than I could even explain to you guys. And they think this is a worst 2 percentile of possible matchup for Castillo. I love it. They're seeing this as a prime example, a prime opportunity for Quan to have success. Now, Quan has been successful all year long with his consistency just to record a hit. He's at least recorded 1 hit in 37 of his last 44 games on friggin' fire all season long. You might be like, well, 44 games. He was injured for a little bit, so that's basically the whole season right there. He's played 44 games. Now, in the last 14 days, a .480 batting average versus right-handed pitchers. He's on freaking fire. more now than any other time of the season. Okay. Yesterday, which surprised me, he hit a home run. I'm like, how do you hit a home run with a barrel rate of 0.0? Well, that's not going to be 0.0 anymore after they update the the stats whenever they do. I made the slide earlier. I'm taping this at 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. Quan, his ISO rate is in the almost elite range, the good range. And like I said, with barrel rate, if you're new here or don't know what barrel rate is the measurement of the percent of times that you hit the ball with the barrel of the bat. Barrel meaning a launch angle of 25% to 35% and an exit velocity of 95 miles per hour or higher. The reason why he's had a low barrel rate and he had a low one all year long is because he doesn't hit that ball very hard. He's the kind of player that I'm going to see the ball. I'm going to put the bat in front of the ball and I'm going to make solid contact and it's going to drop in for hits all over the place. He's the kind of player that will get multiple hits all day and there'll be singles or what have you. He's not a home run hitter. So I have him as a low home run threat for today, even though he hit a home run yesterday. So maybe he's really feeling it. And, like I said, a 480 batting average the last, 14 days, it's probably going to go up, right? Oh man, depending on, I know he got a home run. I don't know if he got multiple hits, but, so he does have the power for extra base hits. If you want to play the over 1.5 total bases and you just want an individual bet, straight bet, I think it's in play. I think the more, safe play is what the baseline prediction is just to record a hit. All right. Before we get into this matchup, like we usually do, you might see a little H right there, the letter H next to his head. That is being Rice Lewis. That's going to be the way I signify it's a home game. I know some people in the comments said, I'd love to know if they're home or road. It just makes a difference sometimes. If you're playing at home, you might not get up in the ninth inning, and the probability of an extra at bat is less likely than if you're on the road. So you're either going to see an R there or an H. And there was an H next to Stephen Quan's head. So what does that mean? He's going to be at home. Okay. So there we go. Royce Lewis against Zack. Latell, pitch usage percentage. Latell, 30% of the time he throws that slider. Oh, he's not commanding it very well. A 304 batting average given up. Not very good. Lewis, almost a 300 batting average, a pretty solid 286 against the slider. Moving on to the next pitch, 22%. The sinker, a 351 batting average given up by Latell. Absolutely horrible. Lewis, a 273. Okay. So not, elite of elite, but definitely a very solid batting average. I feel comfortable, with this matchup so far. Going on to, the 20% of the time throws a split finger, a 258 batting average. Lewis hitting that at a 500 rate. To put that into context, he hasn't seen many pitches, so it's a low at bat that he's seen split finger, which is a lot of, it's how it is for a lot of players. There's not a lot of pitchers that throw that, but at least the few he's seen, he's proven that he was picking up on him, and he's, like I said, crushing him at a 500 rate. Moving on to the four-seam fastball, 20% of the time he throws that, a 240 batting average against, but Lewis loves the four-seam fastball. He's crushing it at a 500. Let's just say he hasn't seen just a few of them, okay? Has a larger sample size. And then there's another ball, Latell, if I'm saying his name right. I can't fit on the freaking screen. I only got so much room. The sweeper at 8% of the time. He is... you might as well just sweep that under the rug and never play that one. Never throw that one. A 462 batting average given up. Absolutely horrible. What are you doing? I would just lose that one. Don't do that one. Not in this game. Lewis has only one at bat versus the sweeper, so that's a wild card. But then again, like I said, how many times is he going to see it? I don't think it's really going to play too much of a factor in this game. Ballpark Pal has this listed as an extreme advantage for Lewis. He represents also a worse 2 percentile of possible matchups for Latell. Just like Quan was a worse 2 percentile. Both these players right here, Ballpark Pal grades them out as you can't get much better. The only way you can get better, one higher, the worst 1 percentile of possible matchups. Now, Lewis, He is on fire. He's recorded at least one hit in 12 of his last 14 days. A 281 batting average with right-handed pitchers in the last 14 days. His barrel rate is elite, baby. His ISO rate, oh my gosh, in outer space elite. You think he's a home run threat? Of course he is. Now, am I saying to play him for a home run? No, I say home run threat. So I say he has the ability, based on the baseline of his barrel and ISO rate. I got into the barrel rate with Quan. ISO rate is the measurement of power, how many extra base hits you are hitting, getting the ball out there. So that's a baseline for me to say, okay, this person has the ability to hit home runs. I like to look at it a little more and see what some more things about the pitcher in terms of home run to fly ball, home run per 9 innings. I like to look at the weather. I like to look at the stadium they're in. When you add all them up, then I could actually say if someone is playable for a home run. But I'm just saying the baseline, if I wouldn't be shocked if he hit a home run. We'll put it that way. So you think he has the power for extra bases? I just said his barrel rate and ISO rate are, in outer space, baby. Amazing. But so the over 1.5, if that's your thing, knock yourself out. Okay. But I think it's much more, I have more confidence that if we use them in a way where we can just meet the baseline prediction, just record a hit. Now, I hope that we're not going to have the same situation as we did yesterday, where we look and we try to parlay these two players up and they're astronomically high, okay? I hope that's not the case. I'm making this video before the odds have come out. So we're at the mercy of whatever the sports books do. Hopefully hopefully it's not the case. So we'll see. All right, we'll leave it there. I'll just talk to you guys tomorrow.